Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, whatever part of the world you're currently listening to our podcast. My name is Al Mina, the concept author of Face Economics, the utilization of the social media platform in economic development worldwide. Thanks for joining me on this Wednesday afternoon. It's now 3:20 in the East Coast. Basically, I just kind of want to point out what I've noticed within various political parties and the type of platforms that they typically utilize to share their message or silence other people. Basically silence dissent, not silence the overall message of the opposition. So that I kind of just want to point out to you guys is that when I was doing a research to see where everybody is located in terms of the social media giants, I noticed that they're all based in blue states, okay, and predominantly in California. So, like for example, Meta, which was formerly known as Facebook, is based in Menlo Park, California, and YouTube, okay, is based out of San Bruno, California. And funny thing, um, uh, Google is based out of Mountain View, California, and Microsoft is based out of Redmond, Washington. Okay. At one point, X or Twitter was based out of San Francisco, California, until Elon Musk took over and took the headquarters of X to Texas, right, folks? So they broke the mold, you know, X broke the mold and moved out of, the predominantly blue states. And so, with that said, nobody really even pointed this back out that majority of the silencing and majority of the stonewalling that are going on via social media are happening on the social media giant platform like Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, Microsoft, and Google. Okay. So Microsoft is actually in Seattle, Washington, which is also a blue state. So why haven't anybody asked this kinds of questions? Okay. How can we possibly live in a democracy when our freedom of speech, our voices are being silenced? Okay, folks, I just don't see it happening in a democratic society when our freedom of speech is, you know, violated on a repeated and you know, regular basis. And I just thought point this out. I'm not going to make this podcast very long. I just want you guys to kind of reflect on what I'm talking about now, because again, you can't have a democracy when people's voices, the opposition, when dissent, and those that don't fall in line with the orders of the top echelon within the Democratic Party. If you don't follow their narrative, if you don't support their overall agenda, then they would silence you and they would not give you any form of access off of the social media giants platform to the public. Okay, when I first drafted the book, Face Economics, the utilization of the social media platform in economic development, I used to think that would be a game changer, right? The social media platform would be that equalizer in society, so that the haves and the have-nots would actually meet, in the middle. People that tend not to have access to opportunities and resources will be able to gain those knowledge and solutions and services via their social media engagement. But lo and behold, when these social media giants figured out that they can make more money and put that money in their pockets more than it would benefit their overall, social dynamics, the betterment of mankind, the lifting of all boats, they don't even, give you access to mass, population off of their platform. So I find that very, very troubling. We don't want to live in a dictatorship. We don't want to live under an authoritarian, and we certainly don't want to live under an oppressive, government. And that's started back when a Democrat administration was in office. Okay, they were telling people, especially making sure that the social media platforms, the giants, are silencing content that are anti or are in opposition of their agenda. So it didn't happen during the Trump administration. Matter of fact, Mr. Trump was silenced by Facebook and Twitter when he was in office. And he was in office, the first time he was in office, he was a sitting president. Imagine that kind of power and authority over the Trump administration of the social media giants. They managed to silence a sitting president. And all this happened and evolved into a mass silencing platform when the Democrat Biden Harris administration took office. As you all know, Miss Harris is based out of California. She's from California. Nancy Pelosi is from California. All the major media moguls are operating out of Hollywood. So this is a major, breach of trust, major, violation of public, trust by the the Democratic Party. So I just wanted to point this out, folks, because no one's talking about it on any social media podcast that I've been on and listening to and trying to figure out what's really going on. And I've done my research. I've looked into all these headquarters, where they're registered at, and who's actually in charge of these social media platforms. And lo and behold, predominantly of them are from the Democrat Party, and predominantly of them are based out of California. Okay, and they're getting the marching orders from the politicians that are at the top echelon of the Democratic Party. So that's the reality of the Biden Harris administration. That's what the environment that they created, folks. So with this said, thank you for watching, listening to my podcast. My name is Aldous Mina. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Take care. Bye-bye.